Now, I'm sure a lot of you are wondering exactly how much money can you make as a new field inspector. Well, in this video, I'm going to dive a little deep into that topic, okay? I'm going to talk today about what you can expect as a new field inspector. Exactly why are you coming into this so that you can help yourself to understand exactly how much you can make. Because at the end of the day, a lot of the times it will depend on you. So first, let's start off how you are coming in as a field inspector. Are you coming in as a part-time worker? Are you coming in full-time, head first into this industry? Because that's going to play a major role. And I know I've seen a lot of people talk about the fact that they are only making $200, maybe $300 at most all week. And I don't understand how most people are making the money that they're making, because I'm barely making that. I'm barely making ends meet. I'm barely scratching the surface. Okay, but are you full-time? Are you part-time? That is going to play a significant role as to how much money you're making. When I first started off field inspection, I started off part-time. I only worked the hours that I was able to work doing this type of job at the end of my 9-to-5 day. Days that I didn't want to work, I didn't work. But being that I was always trying to push it anyway, because in reality what I wanted to do is exactly what you want to do. You want to find something that is going to replace your 9-to-5 job. And if that is you, or if you already are not working 9-to-5, you just need something new, then it all depends on you still. You're going to have to dive in as deep as you can, work as hard as you can in order to make the best money. Okay, now, for those of you who don't have any work ethic, okay, you know I ain't talking to you. All right. But those of you who believe in making things happen for yourself, that's who I'm talking to, okay? So when I started off, like I said before, part-time. I did this job at the end of my shift every day. I had already signed up for contracts, okay? I had all of that coming in. That was no problem. But I was working at the end of my shift. So, of course, you know I can only do a certain amount of inspections a day if I'm working a full 9-to-5 job. I'm only going to be able to do a certain amount. So, I still was able to push anywhere 350, 400 maybe at the end of the week. Was I getting a lot of extra work outside of that? Oh, no, I was not. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the companies that I had signed up for, those companies that I had signed contracts with, they already knew from the start, just by watching how I move with the workload and how quickly I get it done and how quickly I push it out, as to how much I could possibly handle in a day. And you think that they're not watching, but there are departments in these companies that you contract with that actually assign workload. So when they see that you're not pushing it out really fast, they're not going to just load you up with a lot of work when there's somebody else around the corner. Okay, you got Sally over here, you got John over there, okay? You got Monica over there who need work. They're going to give it to you when you're sitting on it. So of course, it's a good chance that you may feel like that you're not going to be making a lot of money at the beginning, because you are actually only doing it part-time and you got to get it in wherever you can fit it in, right? But if you're diving full-time, you're going to go head first in on this thing and start trying to be a field inspector, then what's going to happen is the quicker you get work done, the more work they're going to give you. Are you going to be able to replace your 9-to-5 job? Of course. Can you make a lot of money doing field inspection? Of course you can. But then, you know, that all depends on what you consider as a lot of money. All right, because everybody has their own ratio of how much a lot of money is. All right, but can you actually live off of it? That all depends on you. When I first started, I didn't have a full day to devote to field inspections, okay? I had the end of my shift. My shift ended at 2 o'clock, I think it was, because I worked from 6 to 2 or 2:30, something like that. And when I finished, my appointments was already set for all the rest of the evening. Some days I wouldn't get in till about 7 o'clock, Monday through Friday. And on Saturday, I would leave out and do some inspections at that time. But on Saturday, they were only the ones where you pull up and take the pictures on the outside of the houses and come on back home. I wasn't making appointments for my weekend. So that's the only way I was able to even get up to at least a $400 mark. All right. But when I started actually pushing it and making sure that I did as much as I could, and those checks started getting bigger and bigger, I knew that I could actually replace my job with this and be okay with it. So it all depends on how much time you're going to actually have to devote to being a field inspector. How much time can you let go of? Because some of us, we have family, we have all of these different things, and they're going to play a role. And we'll find ourselves blaming the industry. Well, I've tried my best and I did the best I could. And I understand, because some of you probably have, because a lot of this is based off where you stay and where you live, shall I say. But a lot of us, we find a reason to say that we can't make it happen for ourselves. And we blame the industry or the companies that we are signed up with. But what type of view of yourself have you given them? Okay, you may be the best person in the world. You may be able to do the work or whatever they give you, but how quickly are you getting it done? How efficient are you? Are they looking at you and knowing that if I load her or if I load him up with this much work, they're going to be able to handle it? All of that is going to depend on you. But yes, to answer your question, you definitely can make a lot of money as a field inspector. And those of you who don't have any independence, you don't have any children, you don't have nobody that you're taking care of but yourself, okay? Sit down, draw out a plan, decide if this is what you want to do, because there are plenty of ways out here that you can make money. But you need to make sure if this is what you want to do, you need to go in on this knowing that when I go in, I'm going in head first and I ain't playing no games. What are you trying to do? Are you going to be doing drive-bys? Those drive-bys where you just snap the photos? That's a certain amount of money. It ain't going to get above a certain amount of money. Okay, are we doing apps? You working with apps? Because you know those apps. All right. Okay. Are you doing homes, insurance, full commercial of any kind? All of that depends on you, and that's going to depend on how much money you are able to make. And let's not mislead ourselves. And I'm going to give you an example of what I mean by that. I am actually thinking of moving, all right? And when I move, I'll be moving away. I had to put all of this into account. When I move away, am I going to make the same amount of money as I'm making here? I know the answer to that. Probably not. Not doing field inspections. I know that already. And I'm willing to accept that if I'm going to move. Because at the end of the day, you know, everything we do is supposed to be a stepping stone to the next thing that we're planning to do with ourselves. Am I not right? It's supposed to be a stepping stone for the next thing that we have coming. So I have no intention on, until I can no longer move, okay? Until my bones are brittle, Lord willing, don't let it happen to me, to be running around here, driving in cars, doing field inspection. That's not what my plan is. So being that I know that this is not the only thing I'm planning to do, this is not the only thing that I'm going to always do, and that I have things on the back burner, and there are other things that I hustle and flow with right now today, I'm not too worried about that. But for those of you who are planning on doing this and wanting to start doing this as a full-time job, and you're concerned about if you can make a lot of money doing field inspection, then you need to take all of what you got going on into consideration. When you're looking for a job, a regular 9-to-5 job, how hard is it for you to get one in your area? Are there a lot of job openings in your area? Are the houses spread out all over the place? Do you have to travel miles to get to the first large commercial building? Okay, that's another whole video, and it will be coming next. But in the meantime, before I leave you guys, I just want to tell you, everything that you do and how much money you make depends on you. That is 100% the truth. Because nobody just passes you a dime. You got to go get it. So, with that being said, yes, you can make a lot of money doing field inspections. Like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell. You know I'll be bringing you back something later. Thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day.